let's. I'm gonna send the link to the group chat so that everybody sees what is said here today. Because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a fireworks episode.
I mean, all I'm telling you, bro, that today, September 24th, 2024, I mean, it's a lot of fireworks. I'll tell you that. So obviously, we'll get to it as you start sending out the link,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody will be able to at least
Getting on now.
from the number one podcast in the world.
Definitely, Fredo. There's no competition, bro. In the 1990s, I'm pretty sure that Franklin's podcast had some weight, but getting into the new age, we definitely have him beat.
Yeah.
No, no question,
Yeah.
no question about that. So right now, I'm getting onto the YouTube to be able to get this link for him for everybody to get on, especially Franklin, because you know how Franklin is. He's a ninja watcher. He's not gonna say anything in the chat, but he's gonna be watching. Content short live, and we are live. Let's see. And I just sent it in. All right. All right, Alfredo. I just sent the information in to everybody. First things first. Any housekeeping we got to do? Anything you want me to address before anything goes down?
I'll tell you this, man. Just before we get to it, I know some of the guys are be getting on to the chat, so obviously we have a lot to say when the majority of the people will get on. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I do want, first of all, to ask you, people claiming, what's your thought about this guy, Franklin? Actually, before we get to Franklin, we'll leave that to it. I want
Okay.
to talk about Danny the Fly. What's your thought about the whole episode of the dropping and the pickup?
Well, look, I am gonna say this. I, for one, have seen some Yahoo do some weird things because sometimes I'm in a place where I don't have good either good Wi-Fi or just in general good internet connection on my phone, and for some reason sometimes I click on something and it doesn't come up right away. So I've had it happen that I click on something to see the little news for a player or something like that, and it doesn't give me the right player.
Yeah,
And it's not like how Danny was saying, like a fat finger that you press it and it's
bro,
giving
he
you
doesn't
something
have a
else.
fat finger, bro. I
Uh,
have you seen his hands before, bro?
Never seen him.
No, bro. That's all excuses, man.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened to Danny. While Danny and I think Steven said it perfectly. While Danny was crying because he went through his defeat, he woke up in the morning. I think it was Armando. He woke up in the morning. He went through the bathroom, and while he was taking a dump, going looking at the result, can't not believing that he lost to you by 3 points. In which, if he would have done his stuff, he would have been. I tell him if he would have made his kickers, his defense, he makes them a priority,
Hmm.
he would have had higher score. And then while he's regretting all of that,
Hmm.
obviously he's going through his phone. I'm gonna illustrate what could have happened to Danny. So obviously
Okay.
while Danny is taking a dump in the bathroom,
Hmm.
sitting down, and then he's going through it, and then by mistake he deletes the first guy, in which I think it was the defense,
Hmm.
and then at the end he's like, "Oh, I messed up." It was, and now and then obviously he's like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna come up with? What am I gonna do?" And obviously then he comes up with an excuse. Oh, a glitch by Yahoo. He wants to blame. And Danny, in case you don't know, Yahoo is $1 billion company. They cannot afford these type of mistakes. So those are lazy excuses from you about this.
Well, look, Alfredo, I'm not gonna sit here and allow you to just besmirch Danny's name like that.
He is. This is the same guy who just did it a few years ago. Remember the whole issue with Dustin Hopkins? I
Yeah,
think Danny, I think literally he is dyslexia. He's probably someone who doesn't even like, he can't see right. No,
he's dyslexic, so he doesn't see the everything jumps in his eyes.
that's the whole thing. He cannot see what jump, and then he probably click on it thinking that it was one thing and it ended up being another.
Hmm.
Remember, this is the same guy that we warned him what was going to happen
Yep.
to Steven.
Hmm.
This is the same guy that we warned him. And he was blind to the fact. Él es, un despistado. I'm going to call him un despistado. Perdido. And then, to make this even worse. So now, when things didn't go his way,
Hmm.
that he realized the vote didn't go his way, what did Danny do?
He went to the chat.
No,
No,
no, no. No.
before he,
No. Wait.
yeah, no, but you have to bring it back to how it happened. As soon as it happened, he brought it to the chat to let everybody know, hey, because I remember I wasn't paying attention to the chat, but I did see him drop a player, and then right after that, he said in the chat, pretty much, guys, I made a mistake, which
Okay.
everybody makes a mistake. No, you know what? Everybody makes a mistake. And originally, I don't know if you guys saw the vote. Originally, I had put no, that you shouldn't get your player back because a mistake is a mistake. Everybody here makes mistakes, and because we're in a competitive league, that means that we could take advantage of that mistake.
He's not taking advantage of that mistake, Pedro.
What do you mean? You're the first one that had the waiver pick. Pick him up.
I did my research. I did my good thing, and I ended up with the first waiver. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing is that this guy, for being negligent, I'm gonna call him negligent, hiding, doing what he's not supposed to do, he ends up benching his guy. So I believe he should get some form of a punishment for it.
Well, the punishment originally I thought would have been that he loses the player, which is what you think. What you think too? I'm assuming, right?
Well, he was going to lose Brian Thomas.
Yeah, he was going to lose Brian Thomas because he messed up. No one believed him about that. And then you know what? I took a little nap, and then I said, you know what? I've seen Yahoo do some strange things, and this multi-billion-dollar company has done some strange rankings in the past.
But Pedro, we've been doing this for how many years? This has never happened to anybody else.
No, I know it's never happened.
One person twice. How long have we been playing with Yahoo?
No, but the first time it definitely was his fault. Let's be real. The first one definitely it was his fault, and then he even said in the podcast, since that day, I've never had two players with the same last name.
This has never happened. This glitch, like he likes to say, has never happened to any of us. Maybe what he should do while he's taking a dump, pay attention to what he's doing. Maybe making these important decisions is not while he's in the bathroom.
So yeah, Armando, he is getting him back. That's
yeah. In case people, don't know what's up. Yeah, he, the commissioner, and Steven decided, as we all knew, and this was a joke just to make Danny suffer, and decided to give him back to Brian Thomas. But you know what's the most interesting thing, Pedro? It's 8:49 p.m. And my question to you is, where's Danny?
I don't know, bro.
Where's Danny?
I don't know. He's not in the chat.
He's not in the chat. When I send a message around 5 in the afternoon, when he realized that he thought he was going to end up losing Brian Thomas, I send the message out, and he still hasn't even read the message. You know what's up? You can see when I say he probably went to play golf. Oh, actually, he did read it now at 8:42. So Danny, so looks like everybody, Danny is back in the chat. He looks like he's reading the messages, but still, he's a coward. And then the thing of all, and then it's being hypocritical because didn't this guy the day before was calling Franklin a coward?
Yeah.
Now, when
Definitely.
something doesn't go his way, he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, they're both on the same boat when it comes to that. But at least at least he didn't leave the chat, like basically do what Franklin does every time that he doesn't get his way and just say, "I'm done, guys. I'm done. I'm leaving the chat."
Well, let's go on to the topic of Franklin, because
Mhm.
I know you have a lot to say. What this guy, as you know, Franklin came back this
Mhm.
morning and he released his own version of his podcast, basically going on a rant. And he basically, out of the 25-minute podcast that he had, 21 minutes was toward you, Pedro.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. The
what do
majority of it
you
was
have
towards
to
me,
say to Franklin?
bro. Man, the first thing that everybody needs to get into their head, he's the one that drafted that team. The first person that he needs to blame is the guy in the mirror. That's the number one person he needs to blame for him being as garbage as he is. And you know what, Alfredo? I'll tell you one thing. Right now, I am a true of the league, but he's right there, right below me. He is at this point. Franklin is the Roach. I'm gonna call him Roach Junior from now on because you're Roach Senior. I have to say it.
Oh.
He is Roach Junior, and he right now is eating the churre right under me. So at this point, the $1 billion company Yahoo thinks that I'm better than him. So what does he have to say to that?
But Pedro, I mean, going based on his argument, he
Mhm.
was saying that you were picking on his team without any basis. He said that your team, yeah, that his team, that that he has had bad luck because he played against good opponents,
Okay, I
and then
believe that. Listen, he has when he says that part that he's played against better teams and he had a crap schedule because of that. You know what? I'm going to give him all the truth in that. You are correct, sir. Because you know what? This is something I'm gonna say. I'm gonna sit here in this chair and I'm gonna say that I will always give reason where it's due. If at this point, if I would have played the teams that he played, I'd be 0-3. Most people will be 0-3, unfortunately, but
but you did it.
I didn't. That's just the way it is. I may have the luck that I played Danny on his worst week. Maybe it's because I have my power rankings. Maybe it's a sign of things to come for Danny. But we need to keep it 100.
Now he was claiming, and again, and I'm gonna be most likely Franklin is gonna want to defend himself, and
Mhm.
we welcome him to this podcast whenever he
All
wants.
day, every day.
And obviously he's going through some issues right now.
Big issues. Big
So
issues, and the first person he really needs to focus on is the man in the mirror because the one that drafted that team is him. Now he talked about me saying, "Oh, all these things that I'm saying without no basis." Look, it's what happens. What do you want me to say? There are people on your bench that did better than the people in your lineup. Who will put Jerome Ford in when Aaron Jones has a better matchup? All right, you know what? You know more than me. You must know more than me. Did you go into the future and see something different? We're here now, and this is what happened. But you know what? Afraid I'm gonna put it like this.
uh-huh.
No, what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
I
Go.
was gonna ask you because he said about Josh Jacobs. He was saying that you were criticizing his Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Who they? What do you have to say about that?
Look, let's forget about right now the Josh Jacobs, the Jerome Fords. Let's forget about that for a second. Did you hear the amount of time this man spoke about me?
Yeah,
21 minutes of 25 minutes is all speaking about me. I'm in his
you were
mind.
24 minutes. Yeah.
He cannot stand the fact that he is under a churre of the league. And you know what, Alfredo? I know that you know where he lives. You know his address. He's probably sent you things. You probably sent things back and forth. I don't know because I know that you're older. You must have like a pen pal ship with him. You send letters in the mail. You know what, Alfredo? I'm gonna need that.
I have nothing with that, Pedro.
I'm gonna need that address because this is what I'm going to do. Whatever wine it is that he needs to sip on to feel better, the ones that he takes forever to analyze trades, the ones that he needs to go to sleep at night nowadays.
Well,
That's what,
looking at his team, yeah.
yeah, looking at his team right now, he needs to sip on some wine. So you know what? I'm gonna get that and I'm gonna put it in a box. Put that favorite wine. I'm gonna spend some good money on it too. I think $150 for a bottle of wine is a good. That's a good bottle of wine. I'm gonna put it in there.
Okay.
And you know what?
Don't forget the cups.
Oh, the cups. It's gonna be nice glass cups. It's gonna be awesome. You know what? I'm gonna put that in there. And you know what else I'm gonna put in there, Fredo? I'm gonna put several boxes of Kleenex. So he could go and he could take those boxes of Kleenex, take the wine, sip it, and dry his tears. Because that's gonna be him all year. I am tired, bro. And you know what? I'm afraid to tell you the truth. I'm not built like Franklin. I'm not. That's why I'm not so emotional. Franklin is built on sugar, spice, and everything nice. I am not like that. That's what he needs, that wine to go to sleep at night. He needs the Kleenex to dry his tears. I don't. I call myself a shooter. He has a problem doing that. He has a problem seeing his team so bad. He spent 8 months waiting for football season. He came all the way down from Savannah to Miami to draft this team to be 0-3. It takes a special kind of guy to not feel some type of way about that.
Pedro.
But the funny thing, to lash out at a guy that's just calling it out when you should really just look in the mirror and see the guy who is to blame. Incredible. Or better yet, wow.
I mean, this is a roast job. I'll tell you this. Pedro, over and under. Let's talk about betting with Franklin, especially in Franklin's case. Franklin right now, just to remind, he's 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ended up beating him yesterday. So now he's facing Jonathan. And obviously, you know, his schedule might ease up. So over and under number of victories that Franklin's going to have this year. 5. I'm going to put number 5. Over or under?
Victories?
Victories. For Franklin.
His current team, how it's assembled right now?
Assemble how it is. Maybe some waiver pickups, but you know.
No, I don't see it. I don't see him getting 5 victories at this point. No, it's
so you're claiming that in the over and under, he's going to be under 5 wins.
If there's nothing else changing on his team, maybe some waiver pickups here and there, I don't see him getting more than 5 wins. Now, I do see. Look, this is the thing where I have to give credit where credit is due. Franklin is a good owner, I believe, that will try and go and make trades and do the things that he needs to do so that he can make it over the hump. Is it going to save him? I don't know.
So you're claiming that Franklin is going to be 5-9 this year?
Possible. It's very possible.
Wow, 5-9. Well, he's already a third on his way there. He already lost 3 games. So
he already lost 3 games. How long? Like, how much more games do you need to lose before you realize what you are?
Wow, man. I mean, if Franklin gets
that clown suit we need to find it in an extra small for Franklin.
Well,
definitely.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, would you yourself? Hey, wasn't there something today? There was an article in Miami Herald that there was a clown. Someone dressed as a clown up in Palmetto. I don't know if you saw it online in Miami Herald and Instagram. There was something that there was.
I don't know. Did Franklin make it down for the weekend?
I was thinking, is that maybe Franklin?
I don't know, bro. That's was it a anorexic clown?
No, yeah. I mean, I'll tell anybody. Just look it up in the Miami Herald. Through the local channel, there was a guy that was dressed as a clown in the Palmetto Expressway. So And maybe that's Franklin. Who knows?
It must have been, bro. It must have been.
Well,
Was he? Hold on. Was he wearing an Ayuk jersey? If it was, that's definitely him. Definitely.
maybe it is, man. Man, this guy just have the worst luck ever, man. You know, he thought that his wide receiver Brandon Ayuk was gonna break out, and then suddenly, I have the number one wide receiver in San Francisco in my bench, while he has the second wide receiver as his flex. So it shows, wow, what a difference, man. But
Definitely.
Pedro, just prepare yourself because I know Mr. Franklin Delgadillo will not be quiet. You will not hear the end of this. He probably would want to confront you on this. So
That's fine. Listen, he is whenever he is ready to put on his big boy pants and get on a Two versus Brother podcast to confront yours truly, I'm ready at any moment.
wow. Well, after that, man, let's go to our last segment, in which we want to talk about is the power rankings. Your version of the power rankings. Week 3 has passed. Today is Tuesday, in which we're on our way to pick up our waiver. So let's go on with the Churre version of the power rankings.
Definitely.
Obviously, since you're a Churre, like they called you, there must be something worse. So let's start like in plumbing aspect. Let's start at the bottom of that Churre, where the end of all the cockroach. Who is number 10?
Right now, in the septic system that is the Guru League, the one once you flush it down the toilet and it ends up at the bottom up there of that septic system, the one that you got to get that poo smoothie to get it out.
Pedro, I want to interrupt you for a second here.
Go ahead.
I'm getting a phone call from Franklin. Give me 1 second. Franklin.
I just have something to say to Pedro. I'm watching the podcast. Pedro, listen up, bro.
Do you hear him, Pedro?
Barely.
Okay. Listen to me, and I want you to digest this. If you think that by beating a piss poor team in Danny, who scored 90 points, bro, who has no receivers, who is gutted, depleted, and you're all of a sudden putting yourself on top of me, bro, you got something coming, bro.
Hey, I didn't put myself on top of you. The $1 billion company put me there.
We know it's a mirage. Pedro, we know it's a mirage, bro. Pedro, I wish I had you twice in the season, bro. I wish, but I don't. And remember, Pedro, the last 2 years I've owned you. You're 0-4 against me. And this season, it will be 0-5. For 3 seasons, I'm going to own you, Pedro. I'm going to be your daddy. But you know what? We'll save the content for when I actually log into YouTube. Unfortunately, the Delgadillo household is without AC tonight. But Pedro, I'm coming for you. It's going to be a Guru podcast versus Two versus Brothers podcast. And I will confront you. And I have a lot of questions to a lot of the things that you're saying about my team, because a lot of it, like I said earlier in my podcast, doesn't have any solid foundation. But
okay, listen, if you wanna come on the Two versus Brother podcast, or you know what, I don't care. I'll go on your podcast. It doesn't matter. I'll bring the heat, and you need to get out of the kitchen once I'm done with you, because you're gonna be toast, bro.
Pedro, just remember this, bro. You barely break 100 points. The most you scored is 111 points.
It's okay, bro, and it's just so funny that I'm still on top of you. How does my ass look?
Yes, bro.
How does my ass look?
Congrats, bro. You got an easy win, bro. But watch, bro. The storm is coming, bro, because you still have yet to face your brother. You still have yet to face the tough opponents that are coming down your pipe, bro. And I'm consider me a tough opponent, because in order to beat me, you're gonna have to score more than 111. Because if you don't score more than 111, bro, forget it. Consider that another loss. And 3 consecutive years where I own you, baby. I own you. I have your number. Pedro, sleep tight. Hug your pillow.
Oh, yeah.
I love you, baby.
Wow.
That's very nice. It's very nice, Franklin, that you love me and all that stuff. But you know what? By the end of this of the podcast that you and me are gonna be on, you're gonna be calling me Daddy.
Yeah, unfortunately, you haven't really made any noise the past 10 years, bro. So
I'm making all the noise right now.
Anymore, bro.
I'm making all the noise right now.
Pedro, bro. Oh my God, bro. I wish we played each other this week, bro, so I can show you what you really belong.
Just if by the fantasy gods, just by the fantasy gods, if you would have played me that instead of Danny, you would have still lost. It's just the way it works.
I would have beat you, bro. I've outscored you in the first 3 weeks of the season. I've outscored you. You haven't beat me,
and you're still 3-0-3. What's that got to do with anything?
Bro, it's tough matchups, tough sledding, bro. It happens.
Okay, bro. Then why do you come, bro? Why is it that you're here on my podcast trying to talk to me? It's because you know your place, and that's below a chuve.
I'm trying to tell you what's going on. Why I'm not able to connect on video. I'm not running from you, bro. I'm right here, bro.
Your AC. What does your AC have to do with your internet connection?
Because it's super hot. It's freaking 90 degrees. I'm outside talking. It's 90 degrees inside my house, dude. Do you really want me to be inside my house sweating up a storm just to be on YouTube? No, bro.
It's up to you, bro. It's up to you, man. I didn't break your AC.
I don't want the YouTube viewers to see me sweating. I want them to catch my cute side, bro. You know what I mean?
You'll be sweating not because of the AC. Trust me.
Oh no, yeah, bro. We'll see. We'll see, bro. We'll see, Pedro. Hey, Pedro. Hey, sleep tight. And when I'm beating that ass, don't look at me, Poppy.
Hey, man, the diddler is here.
Franklin, welcome. Thank you for joining the Two versus Brother podcast.
Hey, you're welcome, Alfredo. And look, bro, congrats on your win, bro. You are the real deal. You are the real sauce, bro. Got it, bro.
Hopefully, I prove it all the way to December.
Yo, hang up on that bum, bro.
Bro,
I love you, Pedro. Good night, guys.
Bye, bro. Bye. This is what angry callers. This is why the Two versus Brother podcast is the best, because it's live and everybody can see when an angry caller calls us. So back. Let's talk about the power rankings. You were on your way on number 10. So let's quickly go. Who do you have at your number 10?
Bro, let me tell you. You have some. Are
you still concentrated or
No, I'm concentrated. I'm 100%. It's just that sometimes you have these crazy fans that want to get on the podcast and they need to realize their place.
Okay. All right. So who do you have at number 10, Pedro?
Look, right now at number 10, it was kind of hard to put this guy here because he's a good owner. He's just in a bad spot right now. And it was between two people that I was going to put at number 2, but this guy I had to put him there. It's just that his team is really struggling at the moment. I think he could pick it up just with the right trades and the right waiver wire pickups, and he will get over this hump. But I have to put here from first to last, Steven.
Wow.
So, unfortunately, he is right now number 10, 0-3. Right now, there is no firepower on his team. CeeDee Lamb is not producing the way that we thought a first overall pick would produce, the way that he did last year. This no training camp thing for these guys that are looking for contracts and all that stuff is just not working. And I think that they should put back that preseason game, bro, because we're starting to see it roll into the regular season, and it's affecting the way teams are coming out. So that's at least
Steven plays someone this week. Do you think he has a chance?
Let me look real quick. Right now, Steven plays from first to last. Oh man, he plays you. No, that's a loss, man. That's a loss.
So we are on our way to see Steven, a former champion, 0-4.
0-4, yeah.
And especially after last week, one of his biggest rival, Armando, took him out.
Yeah. Yeah, no. We're going to talk about Yovergoy in a bit, but nowhere near this part of the list though.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Armando is way higher than that. So let's continue in the bottom. Who do you have at number 9?
Yeah, number 9, I'm gonna put myself there, to be honest. And this is no emotion because Franklin likes to deal with emotion and
So
all
wait a
the
minute.
sugar and
So you're,
spice.
so you're agreeing with Franklin that his team is better than yours
I am
after
gonna do that.
going in this rant.
Listen, it does, bro. This is the thing. I know where I lie. I know where I am. I'm not delusional. But to go into a podcast of my own making and to put myself where I don't belong makes it disingenuous, and I don't want to do that to the viewers. I don't want to do that to anybody that's watching because I know where I sit, and from where I am, I know what I could do to get better. But if you come in thinking that you're great and you put yourself higher, you have nowhere else to go but down.
Okay, so you have yourself at number 9.
Yeah, I have myself at number 9. Right now, my quarterback CJ Stroud is not producing. A little bit to the thing is that he doesn't have to produce as much because his team is that good. They could run the ball, they could throw the ball. Last time they had a little bit of a problem, but I think that they will pull it through. They will get better. It's just right now it doesn't seem like that my quarterback is producing, and I need to find consistency in my wide receiver and of course my quarterback position. Then again, tight end. Everybody's having a problem with tight end nowadays. So
I mean, you have a tough situation because now you have Mike Gesicki, former Dolphins tight end, as your number 1 tight end. What made you pick Gesicki over Likely?
right now, Isaiah Likely is the second tight end on the team. I truly believe that by the end of the year he will get better, but unfortunately, I can't wait to the end of the year. I am 1-2, and I need to do something because I do not want to see myself wearing a clown suit. So I can't wait for Isaiah Likely to get better. I have to do something right now, and that's just me speaking as the owner of the team. So
No, it looks like you are taking drastic because you finally benched Michael Pittman.
correct.
Michael Pittman, he's owned 94% in the league. So there is still some form of belief that he will bounce back. But he has given you 7, 5, and 7 points. So
Right.
you finally benched him. You benched Christian Watson. So you're benching. You have your team with Wilson, Shakir, then maybe the number 1 receiver in Buffalo, Jameson Williams, um, and Rashawn Stevenson. So
Yeah, it's
Rashawn Stevenson, sorry.
I don't have any problems with my running backs. All my running backs to me are good. I know that Ramondre Stevenson gave me pretty much a goose egg, but he's going to bounce back. Maybe tough sledding nowadays with the 49ers, but let's see what happens.
Okay. Let's move on to number 8. Who do you have at number 8?
At number 8, I have Rouse Majestic Infirmary. That name is very appropriate right now because Rouse Majestic Infirmary injuries have destroyed this team. Cup, Nakua, Kenneth Walker, and then injury adjacent because the quarterback is down. Reed is pretty much not performing because that quarterback situation over there in Green Bay.
This guy has 3 quarterbacks in his roster. He has Mayfield after finally, he wasted a waiver pickup on him. He's finally starting him. But then he has Jared Goff and then Brock Purdy. I mean, when you have 3 quarterbacks in one team, that means that you have no quarterback.
No quarterback, exactly. I'm not a believer in carrying 2 quarterbacks on your team unless you do not have an elite quarterback. So at this point, I don't know if he's trying to play matchups, but to be honest, I don't think those guys are going to be something that somebody picks up. I think nobody in the Guru League will pick them up unless they are trying to stream at quarterback. And from what I see, no one's streaming at quarterback. So he's the only one that's doing that.
You know what's a scary thing about this guy? That his best player is Jaden Reed.
Yeah,
that's how bad this team is. I mean, I'm not surprised this guy is even lower.
Yeah, no, he's not lower because he will do better as the weeks come. We expect the quarterback Jordan Love to come back
No,
next
Jordan
week.
was with Danny. Sorry.
Yeah, Jordan Love will come back next week. So that's what I expect. He's been practicing, so we expect him to come back. And once he does come back, I expect that situation in Green Bay to be better, and for Reed to come back to what he was doing, which is producing points. So,
Okay.
and of course later on he get Nakua and Cup. So
Okay.
he's gonna do better. It just not right now.
Okay. We're still in el churre.
Pretty much.
The dirt aspect. Who do you have at number 7?
At number 7, I have Los Coquis. Lex at the moment is another team that injuries have decimated them. Right now, he has, I think it's Debo, AJ Brown, Mixon, and Dell that are all injured
Yeah.
or are dealing with some kind of injury. And it doesn't seem like this is one of the teams that's most decimated by injury. And it's funny that it's gotten this bad. He produced 80 points last week. What was it? 80 points.
Yeah.
80 points last week.
Yeah.
So with a projection of 117. So he was going to be projected for a lot more points and didn't even get there. Nowhere near. So under 100 points. And it's funny because a lot of these teams were scored under 100 points. Everybody from Coquis down scored under 100.
I mean, looking at his team, I mean, I guess this week because maybe he wants to, because I don't think the majority of these players are going to play, but I guess he wanted to make himself feel good. But looking at his team, I mean, he has a team. He has Jalen Hurts. He has 2 number 1 receivers with Marvin Harrison and AJ Brown, with Debo Samuel. Maybe might be the number 1 wide receiver in San Francisco, better than IU. He has Tank Dell. He has Joe Mixon, which would be good, and then Connor. I mean, looking at this roster right now that might play this week, that looks delicious.
Yeah, but you need to take into account Mixon was out last week because of an injury, and he is questionable. He has a questionable tag. We don't know if he's going to play or not.
Yeah, he might not play.
He may not play. So, and then on top of that, Jalen Hurts, which is every year he's a top 5 quarterback. Right now, a lot of his wide receivers are injured.
Okay.
Right now, it's a running team, and they are not really running the ball with Jalen Hurts. They're running the ball with Saquon Barkley because they didn't pay that man for nothing.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to number 6. Now, these are the playoffs team that you expect for right now. The playoffs started today. These would be in the playoff. Who do you have at number 6?
At number 6, I'm going to put here no excuses, Franklin. So no emotion. I put Franklin here because even though he makes some questionable decisions every once in a while, he still has a good team. Each week he has scored over 120 points from what I see here.
Okay.
Every week over 120 points. It just so happens that he plays teams that are better than him in pretty much almost every aspect. He played He played Yo Agoya.
He played Danny.
And when Danny was at all his strength. So it's hard for me to put him any higher because there are teams that are much better than him.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I mean, he's played. Yeah, he has had a tough early schedule. Okay, perfect. Let's move on now to make this interesting. So the number 6 will play the number 3 team.
Correct.
So if the playoffs started today, Franklin number 6, who would he play at number 3?
If he were to play at number 3, he'd be playing Yo Agoya.
Oh.
So
Armando and Franklin would be the first round matchup. So you have Armando at number 3.
Yeah, this Yo Agoya is a team that has no holes. This is a team that has pretty much everything that you could want from a team. Young players, a lot of young players. Made an excellent trade, removing Waddle from his team, going and getting Deontay Johnson. A lot of people bagged on that trade, but I was not one of those people. I understood the trade, and I just thought that he could get a little bit more for Water than what he got. But I wasn't against trading Water. So this guy has excellent receivers. Nico Collins, oh my God, everybody was so wrong about Nico Collins, and I gotta give Armando his flowers. This guy is good, and of course he's somebody that we have on the podcast regularly. So
and talking about Rashid Rice, what a pickup at number. People were making fun of him, and I think we need to give this guy some form of apology because 3 of his pickups that's been completely scrutinized by a podcast by people in the league: Nico Collins, Rice, and Deontay Johnson. Basically, if I obviously since we're in airwaves, but this is Armando sticking out 2 middle fingers to the rest of the league for his pickup. Excellent job by Armando, and for sure, I know he would love to play Franklin in the first round and eliminate him because Franklin has been one of his biggest complainers.
correct. One of his biggest rivals has been Franklin. So
Okay.
it would be ideal for him to take him out in that when it comes to that time.
Okay. Who do you have at number 5? So now let's go to the other first round matchup. Who do you have at number 5?
At number 5, I have I don't know if he's gonna if this is his name now. He changes his name whenever it suits him. Checkers. I think his name nowadays is I Miss Tua. So Danny is a team that right now is 2-1. I love the fact that I gave him that one, but
Thank you.
Yep. It's I gave him that one, and the thing with this team is why he's not higher is because I can't give these teams that I have in front of him. I cannot put him any higher. It's these teams that I have in front of him are much better. They have much better situations. Right now, Checkers, if I look at his team, he has a lot of good pieces. But the problem is now that Tyreek Hill is not going to be giving him 20 plus points a game, is gonna sting. And there are some people saying that Tua's not going to come back. I don't believe that, but
no, he's coming back.
There are some people saying that he's not coming back for the year, or if he's coming back, he's coming back later on. And if that were to be the case,
where are you getting your sources from? I have not heard that.
I know that you are a Dolphins fan, Alfredo. So, and I am a Dolphins fan too, but I have to be optimistic. I know that you're being optimistic, but I gotta be objective.
I listen to my sources, and nobody has ever said anything that Tua was going to miss longer.
Yeah, but it's not just if he's that he doesn't come back. If he comes back, he has a good chance to get a concussion again. So I don't want that. As a Dolphins fan, I don't want it to happen. But we have to be objective and say and call things down the middle and say how they really are. So it may be possible that if that were to happen, Tyreek Hill has maybe 1 or 2 more games that are good. We're going to see Tyreek Hill eat. It's just not going to be the extent that it was when Tua was playing.
Okay. So then Danny, so you're saying Danny as at number 5. He is trouble. This week he plays Alex. So
yeah, he's in trouble.
It's possible that he might end up being 2-2. Can you imagine Danny being 2-2?
Definitely.
Definitely. Who do you have at number 4?
At number 4, I have KMA Baba Yaga. This guy is it's hard to put him in the bottom because yes, he suffered some injuries, but he just finds a way to keep scoring points. He has been a consistent scorer in this league for a long time. He is the champion two years in a row for a reason. Let me look at his team real quick.
Kyron Williams gave him 3 touchdowns last week. Derrick Henry went off. Alex Goddard, he did excellent. He was my tight end, and he did excellent this week. But now, he did.
Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, bro.
His receiver scares me still. I don't have high hopes on his receiver. And now he has Jalen Waddle. If Tua comes back as Tua, then it's a great pickup. But for right now, look at his lineup. I think now is a good time to be facing KMA because DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, George Kittle and his flex tight end and Jalen Waddle. That's never a good sign.
Yeah. Obviously, he has his question marks, but there's a reason why he's not higher. He does have question marks on his team. and the Jalen Waddle, and then the Stephon Diggs and DK Metcalf. How DK is Stephon Diggs being a number 2 on that team? We expected him to be a number 3, but it looks like he's a number 2 and he's going to produce. DK, how long can DK keep that up? He has been pretty much hit and miss for a long time, and
he is the guy who I thought it was last year.
Me too. And I know I've been burned by him in the past, and so have you. So maybe we're biased here, but hopefully he continues down that having this streak. But this is where he's at right now with me.
Okay, so we have our first round matchups. Now we got the final 2 teams, in which is myself and Alex. So where do you have both of us?
Right now, I have at number 2 the Dream Team.
Okay.
Primarily because at Tiburon, man, what a team, bro! I cannot get right now. Like last 2 weeks, week 2, he put up 206 points against me, and he put up 164 points against Ralph's Majestic Infirmary last week. He has put up points like no one's business. You have faltered a little bit, and that's part of the reason.
How did I falter? I did last week was my highest points. So how did I falter?
Because he hasn't stopped. Since week one, I have at Tiburon at 144 points.
Talking about falter, I'm going to tell you. Week 1, I scored 130 points. Week 2,
and he scored 144.
Okay, but you're saying I'm faltering. That means that you're saying that I'm going down.
You're trending down.
I'm trending down. So I want to know, how am I trending down? Week 1, I scored 130 points. Week 2, 138. And week 3, 162 points. And that, let me tell you, I haven't had an easy schedule like people proclaims. I beat KMA, yes. McCaffrey got hurt that day. I got saved. I beat Lokokis when he was at full strength. Well, he missed AJ Brown, but so he scored 127. And then I beat Franklin at 130, the highest non-winner score this week. And I beat him. So yes, Alex has been doing great. Is it because Franklin is going higher, or you're saying that I'm trending down? How is that?
You're trending down, Alfredo, because this is the problem that I see with you. If you look at yourself and you look at Tiburon, right? Just by last week, we have Devon Achane. Devon Achane scored 8 points. He had a projection of 18 points. Now, we know the situation in Miami is affecting everybody. It's not just the wide receivers, it's everybody. Okay. And then, of course, you had Sam Laporta get injured. He came back, but this is a tight end that blocks and he has been active in catching the ball. But an ankle injury, even though it's a lower ankle injury, is still going to affect him going forward. I know that no one goes through the year without any injuries, but it was scary to see a guy that in Sam Laporta's stature, big guy, having an ankle injury. Because the taller you are, the more it's going to affect you. The more weight you have on your ankles, the more that will affect you. And that's what I think about that. Zay Flowers, only 5 points. You are more trending down than trending up. Now, when I look at
but think about it. Josh Allen scored. Jamar Chase, he's back. He came back. Okay. He struggled the first 2 weeks. Now we're getting what we should be getting. Meaning I was getting 130 without my best player, and now I got 160.
Yeah, but I get that, Alfredo. But this is the comparison that I had to do. I had to compare your team to his team, and his team is better. It's not when you play and you have this team. Yes, you had Amari Cooper give you 27 points, but then again you had Zay Flowers give you 5.
Okay. And
when I go and I look at Tiburon, yes, he had Kyle Pitts gave him 7 points, But what does your tight end give you? 5 points.
Okay.
That's just last week. I'm talking about last week.
Okay.
And everybody's having issues with tight ends. So I'm not giving that. I'm not putting that like as a big thing. But then again, look at his wide receivers. His wide receiver, the one that gave him the least amount of points, Devontae Adams with 8 points. And Devontae Adams is the number 1 wide receiver on his team.
Okay.
So that's because the team faltered. Now, your problem was with Zay Flowers, and Zay Flowers only gave you let me look back.
4 points.
4 points.
Okay.
So and that is not a team that is that's a pass first team. It's a running team. So when I go and I look at it, his team is built better than yours, and his team is producing better than yours. That's why he's there. And on top of that, he has 100 more points than you.
But Pedro, okay, we're talking about rankings. Yes, I mean because everybody's consensus has been putting Alex at number 1, and I have a problem with that because
of course you do.
I have a problem with it because yes, he has scored more points than me. But if you look at overall the roster that I have, I'll tell you this, everybody. How will Alex? Because now Alex is everybody's fairy tale. They think he is the one within the one. But I'll tell you this. Looking at overall the roster, look at what's trending and what's happening with the Dream Team. You're claiming that I'm trending down.
Correct.
Well, in my bench, I had the number 1 wide receiver in San Francisco who gave 47 points. Pedro. I have Evan Ingram who will come back. Okay. I have Devin Singletary in my bench who's giving more points than other guys starters. Okay. And then I'm going to have the number 1 running back in Tampa Bay in Bucky Irvin.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying that because you have these guys on the bench.
Oh, wait. And I'm not even done. And guess who's coming back in 2 weeks? Jonathan Brooks. So down the road, who is more sustainable? Because remember, power rankings is who has done great so far and who we think is going to sustain in the future.
Correct.
Yeah, Alex is everybody's love right now. It's like that beautiful girl that people fall in love with, the model. But again, you have to go with the consistency. And my team, the overall, it's not just the looks. It's the looks, the personality.
Oh, yeah.
The effects, all of it. That's what my team has. It's not just the looks that his starters have done.
Look,
this is your power rankings. I'll let it be. But and everybody has given consensus that Alex is the number 1, and that's fine. It's only week 4. I'm not going to stress about it. But I want to everybody remember that as we go through this further, you're gonna see Alex trending down, and I'll be trending up. So.
What I am going to tell you, Alfredo, is that yes, your team has good players on the bench, but you said it yourself earlier in the when you were talking in the chat. Who would I bench? Who would you bench out of to get? Let's say Devin Singletary. Would you bench A-Chain to put Devin Singletary in?
No,
probably not. Right?
No.
All right. So.
But I bet
you think that
starting for a grand majority of the teams in the league, the grand majority, I would say 7 of the 10 teams in this league.
But that's why you're number 2.
Huh?
But that's why I have you at number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't bench Devin Singletary. I mean, you wouldn't bench A-Chain to put in Devin Singletary. You wouldn't bench Jordan Mason to put in Devin Singletary.
No.
So. And you who would you bench anybody to put in Juwan Jennings, knowing that the reason why he got that many points is because there was nobody else to throw the ball to?
He might be. I might put him.
You might, but you probably won't. You probably do. You'll probably put him in for Zay Flowers.
No, but Zay Flowers, I'm not touching it. But I'll tell you this: if I put in the trade block, I'm gonna put Devin Singletary, right? If I put Devin Singletary, I bet 7 out of 10 teams in the league will pick him up.
Well, that's what I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure there are people that need running backs. I'm not one of them. I have running backs, but they're a running back hungry teams. I'm sure if you would throw out there Jordan Mason or Devon A. Chain, people are going to find them delicious.
Okay.
So there isn't, like I'm saying, that is why I have you in number 2. But do I believe that you are better equipped to survive the winter? Maybe. But at the end of the day,
Again,
we have to
people
get there
think
first.
about it. Tiburon is just that sexy model. The dream team. Not only I'm the model, I have the personality, I have the care, I have the loyalty,
Oh yeah,
the total package. Don't
we gotta
forget.
get we gotta get a Tiburon on the podcast and see what he says about
Oh,
that.
I would love to confront him. Trust me, I have so much things to say about him. But we'll leave it at that. All right,
Okay.
all right, guys. This is the end of the podcast for today. We're gonna have an action packed. At any moment, Franklin de Gallo would want to confront Pedro. Any last message you have for this league?
Um, only thing I have to say to the league is right now this is only week 4. Don't be like Franklin and pretty much go and cry in a corner and shut yourself away from the world. Because at one point we were actually going to go out and put in a safe, like call the Savannah Police Department to go in and see what's going on with him, a wellness check, because the guy was nowhere to be found. So at this point in time, it's only week 4.
All right, and it's 9:37, and Danny is nowhere to be found. I mean, I'm actually worried. I mean, I think we're gonna have to go to a golf course, Pedro, and start looking for him because I don't find him anywhere. So
You think a gator got him?
probably a gator got him, bro. He probably killed himself thinking he was gonna lose.
Yeah, no. He's mad because he lost to a churro, but it's okay.
All right, guys. Well, pleasure. We'll see you guys. Remember, guys, just sign up for the best podcast in the fantasy football group, the Two versus Brother podcast.
All righty.